What's up, guys? Ricky here. Do you love Most Valuable Podcasts? And are you like myself where things that you like, you just have to let people know because they've got to be on your t-shirt at all times? If you do, you're in luck because we got Most Valuable Podcast t-shirts. You've probably seen myself, Dave, Mark, Sean, Brandon. You might have seen us wearing these t-shirts in videos. The good thing is now you can get your hands on one too. How do you do so? First off, send us an email, mostvaluablepodcast@gmail.com. Give us your name, your size, your address. We will then send you an invoice through Square. That's how you'll pay for it, $22 per shirt. And then after we get the money, we will send you a great Most Valuable Podcast t-shirt for you to wear so you can tell everybody that you love listening to Most Valuable Podcast. So go check it out. The directions are also in the description. What are you waiting for? We got the shirts just for you. But Brandon, let's move on into 1 through 5 and let's just get started. 1 through 5, we're going to talk about most of these prospects because there's only 5 of them to dissect instead of 10 in our rankings. Finish out our big board B. Give us your 5 through 1.
At 5, I've got Michael Porter Jr., forward from Mizzou. At 4, I've got Mo Bamba, center from Tejas. At 3, I've got Luka Doncic, guard, international. At 2, I've got Marvin Bagley III, forward/center from Duke. And at number 1, I've got DeAndre Ayton, center from Arizona, rolling in the dough thanks to Sean Miller.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
Going right into my top 5. Number 5, Trae Young, the guard from Oklahoma Boomer Sooner. Then at number 4, Luka Doncic, the guard from overseas. Number 3, Mohamed Bamba, the center from the Texas Longhorns. Then at number 2, MPJ, the forward from the Mizzou Tigres. And then at number 1, DeAndre Ayton, the center from Arizona. I know it's Ayton. I just wanted to say it like Ayton from the Arizona Wildcats. And Brandon, I want to start with Michael Porter Jr., mainly because I'm looking at an article right now. Signs point to Michael Porter Jr. playing in the SEC tournament. I want to ask you a question that Sean asked Dave and I on the fast break. What does Michael Porter need to do in the conference tournament and potentially the NCAA tournament to improve his to not just improve draft stock again, but reassure us that he could be the number 1 on our big board after playing in the tournament?
I think he's got to do exactly what he did to get himself there. It's that smooth shooting. Mm-hmm. It's, strong perimeter shooting from him. I think that those are the types of things that he needs to be able to do to hold his spot and possibly move up if he wants to do that. And if they could, win a couple of games because of what he's done for them,
do they
that's
have to win
help.
a couple games? Do they have to go far in the conference tournament? Do they have to go far
they don't,
in the tournament?
They don't have to go far. They don't have to win a game.
Okay.
But if he plays well and they lose, it doesn't matter for him in terms of where his stock is. It doesn't matter if a team wins or a team loses. If you have a really good player on a losing team who keeps that team going, who is the reason that team wins, or the reason that team was even in the game, that's all you need. I mean, that's all that matters for that player and for that player's stock. If they win, it's a plus. It's a bonus. Because then you can see, hey, this player is so good that he helps carry his team to the victory, and down the line in a scout and an NBA team is going to look at that and go, hey, we'd like that. We'd like that because we currently don't have it because we lose all the time. So I think that that's something that definitely he needs to do, but he just needs to do what he did to get himself at this spot this high, and that's go out there and be the polished player he is.
And another reason why I asked you that is you have him at 5, I have him at 2. I am unchanged on the Michael Porter Jr. Train ever since it left the station in our first big board way back when we did it. I had Ayton at 1. I had Porter at 2. The only thing that changed was my 3 through 5 in this segment. And with Michael Porter Jr., the only thing he needs to do to be the number 1 prospect to me is exactly what you said. Just do what you do.
Yeah.
Like, lead the team, score buckets, maybe show some defense. I know in the small sample size, the defense probably wasn't the grade A of his game, but just show us that when we were coming in thinking that you were going to be the greatest player in college basketball this year, that you are going to do that. And if he does that and just plays consistently and plays like we saw earlier before this season, then in the 3.0 that we do after the conference turn or after the NCAA, almost said NAIA, NCAA tournament, then he'll be number one for 3.0 and beyond.
The biggest thing for Michael Porter Jr. for me is come out of the game feeling really good.
Yeah.
And then saying that.
And don't get re-injured.
That's what I'm saying, is that if he comes out of the game feeling really good, feeling strong, feeling like the back is really strong, doing really good, it's like I never injured it, whatever he's saying. It's not say it to say it. Don't say it if you're in excruciating pain.
Say it and feel it.
Say it and feel it and mean it. And if he can do that, then that's really reassuring to a team, because they know then, okay, this guy is good, he's back, he's feeling good, and he's feeling like the player he was before he was injured. So that's one of the most important things is come out of the game, don't re-injure it, don't re-aggravate, come out healthy, feeling good, and looking good, playing well.
And same thing we did kind of in last week's podcast when I talked about the Big Ten conference tournament with Mizzou, just in the SEC conference tournament. They will get a bye in the first game, so they won't have to play anybody. Then they'll play the winner of Georgia and Vanderbilt. If we go and avoid upsets, it'll be Georgia in that game. Could be a sneaky one, but you win that one, then they get to play Kentucky. You win that one, potentially you could see either Auburn, who's the number one seed in that tournament, Alabama, which has Colin Sexton, or Texas A&M, who has Robert Williams. Then if you go to the championship, you could play anybody, but most likely a Tennessee, a Florida, maybe even a Arkansas if there's an upset in there. So there are teams even in the conference tournament that Porter can have not just consistent, but have good performances against and could improve his stock. Well, see, that's the thing. Like, I feel bad saying that. I feel bad saying improve his stock, because to me, the stock, even with him being injured, the stock hasn't gone anywhere. It's kind of like with me where if I had the cojones, I'd put him at number one, but I don't. I just don't have the stones to do it. However, I'll put him at 2 and let him prove to me that he's number 1 again.
Well, you said that so where do you have him right now?
I got him at 2.
You've got him at 2. You've got him at 2. Where did you have him when we started?
2.
Okay. So
Ayton and Porter have not changed.
So I had him at 6 when we started, and he didn't do anything, and he found a way to move up. So he's now at 5. But that's also because of changing some people around for me. But he was able to move up a spot. So again, he's not in a spot though, Ricky. He's not in like the 20s where he needs to really improve. No, he's okay. I mean, he's most likely going to be a top 10, possibly a top 5 pick.
Let's be completely honest.
As long as, nothing dramatic, like he gets injured, that would be just god-awful. Well, hopefully that does not happen at all, but that would be like worst-case scenario where he would just plummet. But I don't see it happening.
Comparing your 1.0 to your 2.0, Bagley was at 1. Now it's DeAndre Ayton. Bagley's at your 2. Number 3, you still have Luka. They're right at the 3. And then basically Bamba and Porter moved up because Trae Young moved down. That's how your kind of rankings went up. Because Trae Young moved down, Bamba and Porter moved up. That put him into the top 5. With me, he stayed 1. He stayed 2 to Ayton's 1. The guy that moved up in mine, he was. Where did I have him? I had him at 7 in my 1.0. Now I got him at number 3. He's number 4 on yours. Mo Bamba. He's been hurt the last 2 games, I believe, with a sprained toe. What are you thinking about Mo Bamba? The question that I want to ask you is, when it comes to Mo Bamba, is there something there, or is this all hype for the guy who basically has the huge wingspan? And like Sean posted on Twitter for when the fast break topics for the 1 week, that he jumped so high to block a shot, he met the ball at the top of the square on the backboard. That's how high he can reach with that. What do you think, though? Is there something really there, Or in the end, is it just going to be all hype with Mo Bamba?
No, there's something real there. His length and his mobility, what he's able to do, especially working the baseline, I think that's really impressive. We've seen it. I mean, we've seen it with a number of blocks that he's done. I mean, you talk about a rim protector. He's a rim protector.
Yeah.
He does a really great job with that. But he also is a guy that he has the potential to be a very strong defender. And I think like a very strong defender. And then, not to say that people will forget about his offense, but it'll be the defense that people are like, whoa, that's great. He's a really good defender. And they're like, his offense is pretty good, but he's a really good defender. And I think that that's kind of where he is that he doesn't need to be an elite scorer. But if he turned into be a guy who was, putting in some good points each and every night, and then being able, as he's tested his hand at the three-point shooting as well, if he could add that in, Mo Bamba turns into a really good player at the next level. But again, as we said with Marvin Bagley, there is a lot of potential there. He's not done. What you see now is not what you're going to see in 5 years. The hope is that you're going to see a finished or close to finished product and a really good basketball player. And that's why I don't think with Mo Bamba you're going to be getting I don't think you're going to be getting a guy who's overhyped. I think the hype is probably right at where it should be because he offers a whole lot. Again, I mean the top plays that he's made defensively, and then certainly the top plays he's made offensively as well, it has made people really get excited about him because of what he is right now and then what they know he could be in the future.
So, okay, I'm going to read some stats to you. Ready?
Sure.
I'm going to ask you, there's player A and player B. Who do you want first? Player A or player B?
How about player B?
Player B. So these are both college stats. Player B has 14.2 points per game, about 4.7 blocks per game, 10.4 rebounds per game, shoots 15% from beyond the arc, shoots 65% from two. That's player one.
What was beyond the arc?
It's 150 is his percentage from .150.
15%
is his percentage from three. Here's player A. 13 points per game, about 3.8 blocks per game, 10.6 rebounds per game. So he's got less blocks, less points, but just a little bit more rebounds. Has a better three-point shooting percentage at 26.5%, and shoots about 53% from the entire field. Who would you go with? Player A or player B if you had to make a pick? They're both big men, both play the same position.
I'm going with player B. And by going with player B, I think I picked Marvin Bagley.
You did not.
No, I didn't.
You picked a guy who, I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
He's in the NBA right now.
Oh.
He won a national championship.
I thought you were going both college players.
Well, no, these were his college stats.
Okay, I thought you were going current college players.
No. This was his college
you
stats.
have to set rules before you play these games.
So this guy was a national champion, a Wooden Award winner, put some respect on it, a Naismith Award winner, hometown Chicago, Illinois. Do you know who that is? He plays for the New Orleans Pelicans.
I was going to say Dwayne Wade, hometown Chicago, Illinois. That would be Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis. Do you know who player A was? He is a current college player.
No, I don't even want to guess.
Mo Bamba.
Okay.
Nearly similar, like almost a little similar from stats. And while watching the film, like when you said if he could add the three, I was looking at him like, you know what? He's got an inch on Anthony Davis. And looking at the size, he's what? 225. Anthony Davis is what's his weight? Looking here, 253. So if he could basically bulk up by hitting the weight room a little bit, because he kind of looks a little lanky, especially in the arms.
Yeah, he is.
Bulk up a little bit, add that three to your game, he could develop into exactly what we see from Anthony Davis and the New Orleans Pelicans. Like that is the ceiling, well, or the roof, because the ceiling is the roof for Mo Bamba. Like, when I look at the game, defensively, reminds me of an Anthony Davis of what he's doing in the NBA. When I see him around the rim, jamming it home, Same thing I see from Anthony Davis as he's tearing it up in the NBA. The only thing he needs to develop is that three, which, look at Anthony Davis, 15% in college. This year from three, Anthony Davis is shooting 34% in the NBA. So just because you're shooting one thing in college doesn't mean you're going to stay the same in the NBA. That's the thing I like most about Mo Bamba, is where he could be with development.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what a lot of people think about him. But I think that's also where we're kind of at with Mo Bamba, Marvin Bagley, and with Jackson, who we talked about as well. I mean, I think that right now, all of them are at the spot where if this is all we're getting from them, okay, that's good. But there's more. There is more. And that's why I really think that I don't think that the hype is too much. I don't think that people are just really overhyping and he's not gonna live up to it. I think he very much can live up to this hype.
Last thing I want to ask you before we round out this podcast is, this is the first time, obviously second big board we've done this year for the NBA. Last time we kind of differed with our number one. You had the bagman, Marvin Bagley. I had DeAndre Ayton as number one. This time we both have DeAndre Ayton number one overall on the big board. I want to ask you this because obviously we've talked about Ayton before. We know, they know why we have him number one. Unless you're new to the channel, check out the DeAndre Ayton Marvin Bagley video we did. Here's a question I want to ask you with Ayton. Kind of a similar question I asked for Michael Porter Jr. With Jr. coming back, what does DeAndre Ayton need to do in the conference tournament and the NCAA tournament to kind of keep Michael Porter Jr. at bay when it comes to the first overall pick?
Nothing. He doesn't have to do anything.
You don't think he has to do anything?
No.
Like if
He's been playing all season.
Okay.
He's been playing all season. Don't matter. He doesn't have to do anything else. He has been playing all season, which has helped to solidify where he is. Michael Porter Jr., if anything, needs to be the one to do something. If anything. I don't think he really does, because unless he does something just critically awful, he's not really going to fall. But unless he just, becomes Christ Jesus and walks on water, then I don't think he's going to be moving all the way up to number one. Because, again, Ayton's been the one who's been on the floor all season long. He's been making the plays all season long. People have seen him all season. Ayton doesn't have to do anything.
Let me do this then. Crystal ball question yet again.
Yeah.
Throw team needs out the window. We will leave that to the fast break. Just going off of talent alone, look into your crystal ball when we get to, June 21st, I want to say, is the NBA draft. When whatever team rolls up to the podium for the first overall pick, after it's all said and done, who will be the first overall pick between DeAndre Ayton or Michael Porter Jr.?
Ayton. With extreme confidence.
Like, that was usually Brandon. Like, the last time I asked you, and most times you're kind of like, and you kind of just sit there and think. This one was almost rapid fire. I think this is the quickest an answer has come out of your mouth of any question I've asked.
It might be, and I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of it.
I am going to go on the other side. I think Michael Porter Jr. is going to do enough to be the first overall pick, because the thing with Ayton that I think might push him to the 2 is that a team might go, Michael Porter Jr. can handle the ball, play on the perimeter, and score down low. DeAndre Ayton's only limited to around the paint. We need a guy like Porter Jr. compared to Ayton if we want to win, which wouldn't be bad, because I think whoever gets him at number 2 is going to be fine taking him at number 2. Anything you want to add about anything with the big board before we wrap everything up?
I just want to add one thing on SI.com, the very last sentence about DeAndre Ayton and the reason why I think that he's going to be number 1.
Okay.
It's extremely rare to find a 7-footer with his array of gifts, and Ayton is just scratching the surface. Enough said.
Just scratching. That means there's more. There's more there, but there's more to all these prospects as they grow, and especially after they get drafted and they got to grow in the NBA. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know your big board down below in the comment section. What did you think about ours? What did you think of our top 5? If you're only watching this video on YouTube, let us know what you think down below in the comment section. If you love the podcast, make sure to check out patreon.com/MostValuedPodcast. Want to thank William for becoming a new patron and joining the MVP Patreon family. Also, if you want a t-shirt from MVP, the store link is down below in the description. What are you doing? You got to get one. They're awesome. I wear mine almost every day. I got to remember to wash it. Don't want to wear it if I don't wash it, but I wear it almost every day. That's how much I love wearing the shirt. It is so comfy. Then you want to go ahead and bookmark Most Valid Podcast. That's where you get everything for MVP. And last but not least, if you are on iTunes, you're on Apple Podcasts, go ahead and give the Primetime Podcast a 5-star rating. Want to thank you guys for watching on YouTube. Want to thank you guys for listening to the podcast on podcast services around the world. And as always, have a good day, everybody.